Timmins is a good old city located in northeastern Ontario. Timmins is a city with a heart of gold. Oh yes, it is.
Welcome back, Timmins. Last week we talked about free supply. Remember that fun stuff? And some other things.
Oh, my back! And you! What is this Colombian butterfly?
What happens at Hershey Lake stays at Hershey Lake.
Ooh, can I talk to you about moving Livingston? Oh!
This week we talk about the news' infatuation with Ricky's car from Trailer Park Boys.
On Global News Morning, and by now you've seen the videos, you've heard the stories about the fellow from Ontario who drove to Nova Scotia this week in a replica of Ricky's car from Trailer Park Boys fame. Now before we...
A fan made an exact replica of Ricky's car.
...drives a replica of Ricky's car from the Trailer Park Boys. He's been popped...
Exact replica of Ricky's car.
Was it really that slow of a news week?
Now this is a little different than most transmissions. First stop drive doesn't work, but third does. Neutral is park, reverse is second. If you want to use reverse, put it in drive. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
And the accelerator sticks too, so be careful. But don't be afraid of it. You got to give it to her or it's going to stall.
You can do this, Ricky.
I hope so, Trevor. Now take it for a little test drive and get used to it.
I know how to drive, man.
You also know how to be stupid, and I don't want you to...
While I'm also a fan of the show, I'm personally a big fan of their musical career.
There once was a cat with a hungry belly. The name of the cat was Whiskers Jelly. His throat was dry and his paw was bare. Meow, me furry cats meow. Soon may the kittyman come with birds and mice and some tasty nums. One day when the critters come, we'll eat till our bellies are full.
Now those are some lyrics I can get behind. Welcome back to Let's Go Shopping with Ol'Norm, where we look at Timmins auctions, for sale websites, and all that. See what's out there. Like this, an Xbox S. That's for $200 is a steal of a deal. And apparently my new best buddy, we were gonna game tonight. He asked what game. I said, Diablo, Battlefield? Nope, that's not what he wanted to play. Fortnite, Steve. Oh well, for the sake of the show, I played with him. Picked my favorite character, me, always me. And I put on a metal suit to protect my innards. Love my innards. And, of course,
ban them all.
Steve, calm down, Steve.
And not ban everyone, because I can't! I'm not allowed! This thing I can't do this! Why? If it happens again, I'm fucking worst game I've ever played in my fucking life!
This is what I do for you guys. Well, hope you enjoyed that. Well, I kept shopping and look, I found some tracks. Damn! Maybe for a tank or bulldozer. I had a relative that had a bulldozer. I forget what his name was.
Just received a 911 call reporting that there is an out-of-control bulldozer. They can't tell who's driving it, but there is someone inside.
The man inside this armor-plated bulldozer is Marv Heemeyer.
Marv! Yeah, I remember. That's his name. Marv. You know, he got pissed off at the city for doing a bunch of nasty things to him. You know, 6,500 isn't that much. So I put that one on my favorites list. Maybe I'll buy it when I get rich. Oh, and then we found fans. An industrial fan? I love fans. $75 is a steal of a deal. I'm a member of OnlyFans. Love OnlyFans. For instance, you come here and click on this cheap one. Blow is hard. Oh, that's a beautiful fan. And the next one, bunch of tiny fans. Look at that, it's about the size of a toonie. Little fans. Gamer gets blown by a fan? Beautiful. I love that fan. I have no idea why my wife gets mad every time I check out my OnlyFans. I'm a bear. It's hard to keep cool, you know? A lot of fur. So join us next week with Shopping with Ol'Norm. Now for our new segment, Tim Talk, where we see what TikTok's talking about Timmins. Oh, this doesn't look good. Oh, those stats ain't that bad. Oh, in 2019, yeah, that makes sense. Who knew those would be the crime-free days?
Want to see a creepy old-ass building in my town?
Oh, I was
Here it
expecting
is.
a different building entirely. We're all expecting a different building. You know it, I know it. Oh, and don't forget there was some ducks just strolling through Timmins right in front of the Hard Rock. Mama ducks just rushing them babies to their doctor's appointment. Gotta get them all checked up. Everyone was TikToking these ducks. They were walking all over town getting an escort. Thank you to everyone who leaves a comment. This segment's for you.
కాశ్మీర కౌగిలిస్తే ఏం చేస్తావో నేపాళీ మంత్రమిస్తే ఏమవుతావో కంగారు పడ్డ కన్నె శృంగారమా వణుకుల్లో కూడా ఇంత వయ్యారమా గోలి మార్ 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 మార్
This week's special segment is about something close to my heart. Ponds. I have one myself. I filled it with beautiful koi. I fondly named each of them. There's Courtney Cox, Coit Cobain, Koyano Reeves, and obviously proof that nobody likes June beetles. We also had a couple turtles in there, but this is them when they were inside, happy and warm, just playing and frolicking. It soon became a bit of a landmark. People would come just to see the pond, take photos in front of it. Children would come, try to catch the turtles, and a lot of people started coming every day. This is only a couple hours. And as you can see, there was a lot of people that loved looking at my pond. It brought children joy, families, older people, even cats would come at night to drink, trying like kids to catch the little turtles running around.
Get down. I don't want to get down. You're not going in there and you're not going on the dock.
My neighbor even made me a little Rafiki and Simba. And if you were lucky enough to come over at night, the trail was lit. If you look deep in the forest, there's a tiny little fairy garden. A whole bunch of little fairy houses. And this is pond during the spring when the water is at its clearest, right before we put in the fish, because they muck it up so badly. The waterfall's trickle was always soothing. I've always been one with nature. I love animals. I even happened to buy a pet store when it went out of business. Unexpectedly, of course. Leaving me and my wife with a couple little hungry mouths to feed. Hungry mouths that were smart and cute. And eventually they learned that we were their buddies.
Come on.
And this is Bubsy.
Come on.
He's an Argentine black and white tegu. He's my sweetheart.
Come on, baby.
Goes everywhere I go.
Come on, baby.
If anything ever happened to him, oh my goodness, I
That's my boy.
would faint.
Oh, there we go.
This is him now. He's just a little bigger. He's still just a baby, though.
You ain't my Asian baby.
And I'm a bear, so loving nature is kind of in my nature. Now for what you've been waiting for, our main segment.
And, just giving a place to sleep and then allowing, or not allowing, but sending back out to the community to find food.
Other than being a very bad teammate in Fortnite, Steve Black was right. The media refuses to cover this, though. They continue on with stories of fights behind the safe injection site, or even ignore obvious attacks on citizens. CBC Radio, however, rushed to the mayor to get her input on the vote the city council did about moving living space.
I also don't believe that we should be interfering with the work of a nonprofit organization like Living Space.
Oh wow, the mayor's trying that trick again, where she pretends she's not part of CDSAB. Well, Jonathan Pinto is gonna nail her for this.
Since that your vote against it, what sort of response have you received from your constituents?
Wow. Award for journalism goes to not Jonathan Pinto.
Of course, the group of protesters that were calling for the relocation of Living Space weren't pleased. That being said, I have been receiving a ton of positive messages, just as I had after hosting a town hall a few weeks ago.
Oh, there's a community willing to take living space? That's nice.
After that town hall, I received a flood of positive messages.
Residents volunteering their area? Where?
Who felt the need to reach out to say that they support the approach that the city is taking in trying to end chronic homelessness.
Oh, they wanted to stay over here.
And the same happened after Tuesday's meeting. I've received a lot of messages from service providers, from partnering agencies who thanked me for my vote.
So rich people who live nowhere near it.
The discussion we're having is getting close to, systemic racism.
Wait, what? What? This lady is claiming that dumping socioeconomic waste on a poor minority neighborhood is racism. Racism against her agenda. The actual system. She said systemic racism. You're the system. You're the system.
The discussion we're having is getting close to, systemic racism.
And how much power does this motion, this resolution actually have? Because the city does not operate living space directly.
Wow. He not only didn't call her out for being the head of CDSAB, but he sets her up to trick listeners into thinking she has no power over living space when everyone knows CDSAB's chairman is the mayor.
It doesn't, no. And
so deceptive, so much lies.
In its essence, it's a request for a report. And I happen to know that some of my colleagues around the council table, weren't fully comfortable with this, but
by council members, she means board members of CDSAB who funds living space. So her and her board members were unhappy they couldn't dump a socioeconomic waste on a low-income minority neighborhood.
There's so many homeless people down there. It is insane. We ran my friend Ol'Norm is a lawyer, and he was in San Francisco talking to them about it. And he was like, what is the problem here? Is it a lack of funding? And this guy was talking goes, no, the opposite. The people that are on these homeless commissions, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Some of them are making $250,000 a year. And they're out there, well, we're doing our best to outreach and give them safe crack pipes. Like, it's madness. They have no incentive. The people that are running it, if the homeless problem goes away, they don't have a job anymore. So what are they going to do? They're going to make sure it's manageable. And, well, we need more funding. We're very close to cracking this problem. We're going to need more funding.
This isn't even a new scam the councillors and the mayor are trying to pass. This has been done over and over. In fact, if you continue to listen to this interview, when the mayor, Michelle Boyle, was asked about a success story and any success, this is her giddy, happy response. She was asked about a personal success.
And we've been successful. There has been progress, and that's one thing that I don't want people to lose sight of, Jonathan, is that, the advocacy that we've been doing that started by the previous mayor, who's now our MPP, and with the work that I've been happy to continue, we've been successful in it. We just saw an increase to the HPP funding, the homelessness prevention program funding that comes from the province. We saw a great increase across Northern Ontario, but
these are her success stories. More funding.
For Timmins and the Cochrane District, we saw an increase of 118% over our current annualized funding. So that's a good chunk of money.
Listen to her. It's a good chunk of money. She happy.
A good chunk of money.
Well, we need more funding. We're very close to cracking this problem. We're going to need more funding.
As we've discussed, this has been a contentious issue in your city. What do you want Timmins residents to keep in mind when it comes to this discussion?
Oh, I mean, I would just implore that residents continue to show kindness towards one another. I have to mention, Jonathan, that the temperature is rising in Timmins. Things have been escalating. What started off as just being commentary on social media is now turning into acts of violence, harassment. There have been a number of incidents that have been brought to my attention over the last few days where
There was violence? Violence against the homeless?
and homelessness are being targeted.
She likely means this post. That seems pretty wild, but it is being investigated by the police. There's no actual evidence on it being targeting the homeless. So what is she trying to incite here? It was the day after a 71-year-old man was assaulted by a homeless man, a junkie. He was screaming obscenities at passerbys and fought with the police. Is the mayor worried about residents in any way?
And so I'm really just asking the residents of Timmins to just continue to be kind to one another. Violence will not be condoned and will not be tolerated.
Oh, good, because I have a guy who breaks into my yard all the time, tries to break into my house. I'm glad they're against that kind of violence. Wait, what's this guy doing over in my yard? Oh, you son of a... That's right. The next day, someone came and poisoned my koi pond. That's the kind of violence that the mayor is looking to incite and looking to inflict on residents. There's nothing I can do. The police told me there was nothing they could do. They don't even answer my calls anymore. They say I live too close to living space and there's no one that's able to be arrested around there. He could even break into my yard and house several times. There's nothing I can do. I'm at war with a stranger. And the only crime I've done is living where I live. Maybe you can call this officer, get some answers. He doesn't answer my calls. I had to call Provincial Animal Welfare. They sent me to the Solicitor General. And, well, that investigation is beginning because killing animals is a federal offense. And the turtle was a protected animal. So as the mayor asks us to hush and take it, I'm afraid, Mayor, this is going higher. Well, that's it for our show this week. Hope you join us next week when we talk about that party, Rock on the River. And we discuss the fact that Brian Marks has realized that water is wet and Timmins is not going to take it.
Community buy-in and with the current environment, it shakes the confidence in all service providers. It shakes the employees. I mean, given the environment in Timmins today, I'm not sure that ending it is possible by 2025.
No, it's not possible to guilt us into being a social economic dump. And we talk about what living space was before being a low barrier shelter. And we discuss what happened to our friend. We delve into the fact that he's been also poisoning dogs. Invite the mother of the daughter who stepped on the hypodermic needle during Rock on the River. We ask for her input on the situation of Timmins.
Hey everyone, I'm the mother of the 9-year-old that stepped in the needle at the park. We are very afraid for her future and her health. For whoever said that this might be fake or not real is real. We definitely need to do something about this city. Our town is gone to shit. Our parks are full of needles. Our beaches, the living space needs to be put somewhere safer. I'm so done with this shit.
We invite her for a sit down, hoping that she'll accept the invitation and interview with us at our new studio, where we have a special guest host, Oogie. So join us next week, and remember to subscribe, because damn, these videos are hard to make.